We shot a lot of film on the side of the interstate. Check it out.
If you want to start right there, we can.
I see.
Or you want to go down there?
There's not really a crosswalk anyway, is there?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay.
You can do it. It's up to you.
Oh, hey. Yeah. We can get kind of near the bottom of the ditch, kind of down here. Cool, because I don't have like an ultra wide angle lens, so.
Is that good?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Like a little hint of this ditch, like you can be like right up along here.
Up here.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good.
I'm gonna take my shoes off.
I always enjoy shooting with Holly, so it was an extra treat to go out on this overcast morning and shoot on the side of the interstate. Yeah. I started on a roll of very expired Portra 400VC, which was the Portra vivid color before the current Portra we got about 10 years ago. And it was very kindly donated to me by TT, whose Instagram handle is on the bottom right of the screen right there. Thank you, TT. I can't believe how well this film turned out for being like, I think 17 years expired. And you'll see some light leaks or burns, edge burns on the top and the bottom of the frames, or the sides as it were in this case. But the middle of the frame held up surprisingly well. These were developed normally in C41 chemicals, Cinestill in this case I believe, and converted with Negative Lab Pro. As usual, these are not final edits. I like to show my process, and who knows when the final process for these photos will wind up happening. I don't know. I'm just shooting this stuff. I'm just like exploring and learning, and I think that's kind of how it should go a lot of the time. And a lot of this has led me to places I believe I want to go and revisit, and that's how I build series. It's probably a little different for everyone, and you can see some serious light leaking on one of these final frames. That's again edge burn from just probably years of light seeping in through those papers. That's what they mean when they say load in subdued light. After that, I loaded a roll of Fuji Pro 400H, one of my last ones, maybe second to last, and I really like how this turns out. Nice contrast, good saturation. We really need more of this in film. Hint, hint, Fuji, hint, hint, Kodak. I don't know anyone, please, especially in 120. I like Lomo, but the clarity of Pro 400H is especially nice. I'm just not a Portra 400 person. Although I love Ektar and Ektachrome especially, so don't think I'm like anti-Kodak by any stretch. Especially since Fuji is so infuriating in regards to film photography the last several years, except for maybe the return of Acros. So plan A was to shoot in these ditches for the flowers. We couldn't find like a real heavy concentration of flowers anywhere, because Holly had seen a lot of them along the interstate going to and from college, and we just couldn't find it this morning, but I think we got a good amount. And I also like the little hint of industrialism and society that you get from that little concrete ditch and the stream running through that. And you can't quite tell it's the side of an interstate, so it could be a lot of other places, although I did get interstate signs in the background, as you can see here. I still like it. It's part of our world. It's not like a fantastical forest, because we've built highways through so many of our fantastical forests. I didn't want to spend too much time here, even though we were fairly lucky to not get heckled a lot while we were shooting this. Traffic was picking up, and I knew it wouldn't be long before you see the lurking van there. It wouldn't be long before we had more of those people. So I worked around the different angles of the ditch, I guess you could say, trying to get a few images, especially among the more plentiful flowers on this side. And I couldn't quite get it low enough to like hide what was behind her, but I also didn't mind that the city was lurking behind this foreground of nature and flowers and grass that feels almost natural. But if you look, there's like a compositional line diagonally cutting through blending a city and nature, which I'm sure says something, but I'm not there yet. Also, I shot a roll of Lomography Purple out here and totally forgot to turn on my camera while I was doing that. So we'll go ahead and look at that in just a second. And here's a cool low angle I got as I forgot my camera and we went off to shoot purple film. And I really like how these turned out. I wasn't sure because it was overcast and kind of gray. I didn't know if that was going to help the green of the grass go purple. These are a lot more neutral to me than I'm used to from this. And surprisingly, Holly looks almost like she has a normal skin tone in a lot of these, which is really cool and really helps it get more of that aerochrome effect that they are trying to go for on Lomography Purple. So this was, to me, a major success, even if I couldn't make a whole video out of it. I enjoy just going through so much different film on shoots and not trying to limit myself or box myself in, especially in the exploratory phase. Not far from the side of the interstate was this nice flowery field where we walked over to get a few more natural looking photos. And the bonus here is that I decided to shoot this on a recently acquired roll of Fuji Superia Premium 400. I think I got the name right at least. A Japanese exclusive film that I picked up from Analog Wonderland. And I was kind of preparing for standard consumer fare, but I really love how this film looks. It's a little more desaturated than, you know, a Kodak, let's say Pro image, but it has nice shadow detail unlike the other Superia films to me. And I just really love this, and I wish I didn't have to spend 20 bucks on a roll. So maybe Fuji, maybe you should bring this to America, and maybe you should put this in 120 for America, because we need some more like good 400 speed films, and I think this is a great one. And I would easily shoot this again, and I will probably spend at least 20 to 40 bucks more buying more of this. So if you know any hookups on Superia Premium 400, I would, be very interested in that. So Holly decided to lay down in the flowers, and I was all for it. It was very dewy, which actually, if you look at some of the photos, which you can't really see on YouTube because, you know, resolution and so on of videos, but you can actually see the drops of water on the flowers, which is fairly impressive for how people think of film, and actually, to me, very impressive for a 35mm 400 speed film, which is yet again why I really think Fuji should market this in America. I don't know if there's a problem with that or if that's difficult, but I think it would sell very well, especially now that 400H is gone, you know. So maybe if Fuji would like ever listen to analog photographers, there's a freebie for you guys. I'd like to thank my patrons listed here. For as little as $1 a month, you can contribute to my Patreon, and it really helps me make these videos, and it's helping me get back into my groove. And I have actually gained patrons lately, and I'm hoping I'm making it worth your while. So I really appreciate the support. It's been ultra helpful, and definitely check the link in my description if you're interested. After the Fuji Superia Premium 400 ran out, I shot some Ektachrome E100 because I really love the saturation and color fidelity of that film, and I actually developed this in Cinestill's warmtone slide film developer, and I really like how it came out. The blue of the E100 really turned warm enough, like maybe a little too warm in certain ways, but I like it a lot better than the colder rendition you get. So it worked out really well, and I think it works especially well considering the setting. So I'm definitely going to try this combination more now that I've kind of overcome some of the development hiccups I had with Cinestill's slide film developing kits earlier. It mostly comes down to you really have to stay on top of that temperature, like exactly. When they say you have to be on top of the temperature for color developing, I mean, they mean it, but I found that there's a little more forgiveness than you would think, but not with this stuff. But anyway, I really like how it turned out, and it just a lot of times, like on this shot, it looks so natural, and it has that little contrast and punch that I wish that Portra had, and that you see a little bit in Pro 400H. But time was running out, and as the Ektachrome 100 ran out, I loaded a roll of Cinestill 50D, another criminally underrated film of late, but I think people are starting to catch on because, speaking of just lovely color rendition, it certainly has it, and it doesn't suffer as much from the degradation that 800T does from removing the rimjet layer. So you have to have some really strong highlights to cause the blooming, so it's just a nice natural color rendition to me, and there's a nice punch to it, just enough saturation, and I think it's just a lovely film. And if you want to be lovely, click subscribe and turn on notifications, like this video, and leave a comment. I love your feedback, and I'm sorry for that really terrible joke. Have a great week. See you soon. Bye.